The Galaxy Z Fold 4 has been really impressive, and it's definitely not a cheap phone, so it's probably worth buying a case for it. Well, I've been using the standing cover with pen that Samsung makes for the Galaxy Z Fold 4, and while I really wanted to love this case, it has two major flaws that have moved me from loving it to just liking it. Let's get into it. Let's start with what you get inside the box. Typical Samsung packaging here. I have the black color of the standing cover with pen that Samsung makes, but it also comes in a gray green and a sand color as well. It normally retails for $89.99, and while that is expensive for a case, it does come with a lot of functionality for that price tag. And Samsung was actually giving this case away for free if you pre-order the Galaxy Z Fold 4, which is really great. Like I mentioned on the back, this case comes with an S Pen for the Fold 4 inside the box, and this case comes with a slot to carry the S Pen as well. We'll go ahead and slide out the case, and there you have the standing cover for the Z Fold 4. Right next to it you also have a box, and that has the S Pen inside of it and the slot to hold the S Pen in. And this S Pen holder is going to go right on the back of the standing cover. Now let's look at the case itself. It comes in two parts, as you can see here, and you also get extra tips for the S Pen and a tool to remove those tips as well. So here's the first part of the case. It's more of a bumper style for the cover screen, and of course this case is made of plastic and it snaps right onto the cover screen with no issues. Now the other part snaps to the back of the Fold, and both pieces go on very snug and they fit perfectly on the Fold 4. When the case is on, you can see that the hinge is still exposed. This case doesn't cover up the hinge, which kind of makes sense. It'd be kind of hard to cover all the moving parts of the Galaxy Z Fold 4. But the hinge is sturdy and made of metal, so it's not a big deal that there's not protection for it. At least I think so. Now I really like how the case isn't too bulky. The Z Fold 4 is already a thick phone when it's closed, so I do appreciate that this case doesn't add too much more to that. It's a nice smooth plastic that's also grippy, and I actually like that the hinge is exposed because you can feel that cold metal when holding the phone, which means you can feel that this is still a premium phone. Some cases can make phones just feel cheap because all you're feeling is that plastic, but at least you get to feel that nice metal hinge when you're holding the Galaxy Z Fold 4 with this case. Now as you can see, this case has a built-in kickstand on the back, which is my favorite part of this standing cover. The kickstand doesn't feel too sturdy though, and it does feel like it could snap off after a while, but Samsung did make it so that if it does snap off, you can easily snap it back on. So it's not going to really break, it'll just come off and you can just put it back onto the cover. Now another great feature of this case is you could actually slide off the kickstand and now add the S Pen holder to the back. This is honestly a great feature that this standing cover has, and I had really high hopes for it. I think the Galaxy Z Fold 4 is meant to be used with an S Pen, and having the ability to carry it with you at all times on this case is exactly what you need. Now having the S Pen carrying slot does add a little bit more bulk to the back of the phone, but if you love the S Pen, this is something you're really going to appreciate. The S Pen included is specifically designed for folding phones. You can see more of a flatter and softer tip on the S Pen, so you don't damage that folding screen. And the S Pen is quick and responsive. I had no issues using it. Now it's only going to work with the inner display. The cover screen does not have S Pen support, so if you're hoping to use the S Pen on both displays, that's not going to be possible. Now let's get into the two flaws this case has that made me, well, kind of like it less. And it actually kind of left me disappointed with this standing cover. When you have the S Pen holder on the Galaxy Z Fold 4, you can't really lay this phone on a table flat and use it because it doesn't lay flat. If you want to lay it on a table to use the S Pen, which is how many people would actually use the S Pen, the phone is going to tilt back and forth. If you start writing on the right side of the phone, it's going to tilt the other way and then back when you're done. You actually have to remove the holder altogether from the back so it can lay flat so you can actually use the S Pen, which is kind of a pain. If you're going to use the S Pen, you want to be able to just remove the pen and lay it down and start to take notes or draw on your Galaxy Z Fold 4. But that's not possible with the holder on the back. It's just going to keep tilting back and forth. I would almost call it unusable unless you actually hold this phone in your hand and you use the S Pen that way. But for me personally, I want to lay it down flat and use it on a table. Now the second flaw this case has is when you have the S Pen holder on the back, back, you lose wireless charging. The SPen holder just makes this phone too bulky for the wireless charging to work right, and you once again have to remove the holder and wirelessly charge that way. Now I use wireless charging every day, and if you don't, that won't be as big of an issue for you. But having that holder, while it's convenient to hold the SPen, it seriously affects the usability of this phone. And carrying the SPen with you without the holder is just annoying. For me, I just don't like to have the SPen loose because I feel like I'm going to end up losing it. So it would be nice to actually have a functioning or well-functioning holder on the back or on your phone. Now the kickstand works great. I can still wirelessly charge with it. It holds up my phone for viewing content, which is great. But once again, you have to choose either having that kickstand or having the SPen holder. You can't have both. It is possible to slide one off and just use the other when you want to, but that got kind of old for me after a while, so I just stopped doing it. I ended up just having the kickstand on the back, which is kind of frustrating because I really wanted to carry my SPen around with me at all times, but because of those two flaws, I haven't used it as much. So, would I still recommend the Samsung standing cover with pen for your Galaxy Z Fold 4? Yeah, I still would. Now that might be surprising because I did mention a few issues with it, but it's a well-made case. You have a built-in kickstand, which is great for the Fold 4, and it comes with an SPen. For some, the holder and its issues may not be a big deal, and if that's your case, you will love this case. But for me, I had really high expectations when I saw this case from Samsung, and while I still like it, I really wanted to love it. But what do you guys think? Are those issues I mentioned a big deal, or is it something that really isn't much of an issue? Let me know with a comment down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos just like this one on tech news, reviews, and opinions, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.